Welcome back to LGBT Crime Files. This is the channel where we shine a spotlight on untold stories of LGBTQ heroes, trailblazers, and barrier breakers, individuals who fought to make history and pave the way for others. Today, we're diving into the inspiring journey of Janne Puhakka, a Finnish hockey star who not only excelled on the ice but also broke through one of the most challenging barriers in sports. His story is one of resilience, courage, and authenticity, a reminder that the greatest victories often come from within. But before we lace up our skates and skate into this incredible narrative, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. This is a story filled with emotion, personal struggle, and an impact that extends far beyond the rink. Let's begin. Born in 1995 in Espoo, Finland, Janne Puhakka grew up in a country where ice hockey is almost a religion. Finland has produced some of the most legendary players in the world, Teemu Selänne, Jari Kurri, and Mikko Rantanen to name just a few, and for Janne, hockey was woven into the fabric of his life from the very beginning. Raised in a household where hockey was a constant, Janne's parents were not just fans, they were passionate supporters of the game. They spent countless hours cheering for their favorite Finnish teams, and it wasn't long before their love of the sport rubbed off on young Janne. The local rink became his sanctuary, where he could escape the pressures of daily life and focus solely on his one true passion, hockey. But Janne wasn't just another kid playing for fun. There was something different about him, a drive, a hunger, and an innate understanding of the game that set him apart. While other children skated for recreation, Janne skated with purpose, and that focus would soon propel him to new heights. At just 15, Janne joined the Espoo Blues junior program, one of Finland's most prestigious hockey academies. It was here that Janne's potential began to take flight. The Blues were renowned for developing future NHL players, and being part of the program was both an honor and an immense challenge. But Janne was more than ready. He spent hours in the rink, training, refining his skills, and absorbing everything he could from coaches and mentors. His discipline, dedication, and work ethic were evident to anyone watching. He wasn't just talented, he was relentless. By the time he was 18, Janne's name was already being whispered among the upper echelons of Finnish hockey. In the 2014 to 2015 season, Janne made his Liiga debut for the Espoo Blues, marking the beginning of what seemed like a promising professional career. The Liiga was one of Europe's most competitive leagues, a place where young talent was tested under immense pressure. The best of the best had to prove themselves, and Janne did just that. He played with incredible agility, quick thinking, and a sense of determination that left fans and analysts in awe. For many, it was clear that Janne was destined for great things. But even as Janne's career soared, there was an invisible battle playing out off the ice. The world of professional sports, particularly hockey, has long been dominated by a hypermasculine culture. In locker rooms, where emotions are often masked by bravado, the idea of being vulnerable or showing weakness can feel like a threat. The idea of being different, of standing out, was often met with resistance. In Finland, where hockey is deeply ingrained in the national identity, the concept of an openly gay player seemed unfathomable. Despite the physical toughness of the sport, the emotional vulnerability required to live authentically was a silent barrier many athletes felt they could never cross. For Janne, the thought of coming out as gay while building a professional career was both terrifying and paralyzing. In the locker rooms, where bonds were meant to be formed and trust was expected, Janne often felt isolated. He couldn't share the most significant part of his identity, the part that made him who he was. The fear of being ostracized by teammates, ridiculed by the media, or losing sponsorships weighed heavily on him. He loved the game, but at the same time, he felt like he was losing himself. In 2019, at the age of 24, Janne made the difficult decision to step away from professional hockey. While many saw his retirement as a young player walking away from a promising career, for Janne, it was an act of self-preservation. His decision wasn't just about leaving the sport, it was about reclaiming his life and identity. In the years leading up to his retirement, Janne had spent much of his time grappling with feelings of isolation. Away from the ice, he found himself reflecting on who he truly was, beyond the player, beyond the image, beyond the expectations placed on him. It was a painful process, but it was also liberating. Janne realized that to truly live his life, he would need to embrace his authentic self, something he had long denied. Later that year, Janne did something that no Finnish professional hockey player had ever done before. He publicly came out as gay in an emotional interview. In a world where LGBTQ+ representation in sports was scarce, his decision to speak out was nothing short of groundbreaking. The reaction was immediate. Fans, fellow athletes, and members of the LGBTQ+ community expressed their admiration for his bravery. But the real impact was felt by those who had been silently watching from the sidelines, the young athletes struggling with their own identities. Janne's courage gave them hope. He became a living example that it was possible to live authentically, even in a world that often demanded conformity. After coming out and stepping into his authentic self, Janne Puhakka found love in an unexpected place. During an LGBTQ advocacy event in Oslo, he met Rolf Nordmo, a charismatic Norwegian photographer known for his breathtaking landscapes and his warm, welcoming presence. Rolf's passion for life matched Janne's newfound freedom, and the two quickly became inseparable. Their relationship was a blend of shared adventures and mutual support. Whether it was hiking through Norway's rugged fjords or working together on campaigns for LGBTQ+ youth, the couple seemed like a perfect match. To the public, they were a beacon of love and resilience, a symbol of what it meant to live authentically and unapologetically. But behind the scenes, things were not always as idyllic as they appeared. In the winter of 2024, the world was shaken by an unimaginable tragedy. Norwegian and international media reported that Rolf Nordmo had been accused of killing Janne Puhakka with a shotgun. The incident, which occurred at their shared residence in a remote area outside Oslo, sent shockwaves through both the LGBTQ community and the world of professional sports. Janne, just 29 years old, was reportedly found dead at the scene, while Rolf was taken into custody shortly afterward. Early reports suggested a domestic dispute, though the exact circumstances remained unclear as investigations unfolded. The news of Janne's death, and the alleged involvement of his partner, left fans, friends, and advocates reeling. How could such a celebrated relationship end in such a devastating way? As details of the incident began to emerge, the public struggled to reconcile the image of the loving, joyful couple with the grim reality of what had occurred. Rolf, who initially denied the charges, later admitted to the shooting but claimed it was accidental. His legal team argued that the incident was a tragic mishap during an argument, while prosecutors painted a darker picture of escalating tension and hidden struggles within the relationship. The trial became a media spectacle, with every detail of their private lives dissected for public consumption. Friends and colleagues of Janne came forward to share their memories of him as a kind, determined individual who had inspired countless others. Janne Puhakka's death marked a heartbreaking end to a life filled with promise, courage, and determination. While his untimely passing cast a shadow over his legacy, it also reignited conversations about the importance of addressing mental health and domestic violence within the LGBTQ+ community, a topic that is often overlooked. Advocates used Janne's story to highlight the need for better resources and support systems for queer individuals, particularly those navigating complex personal and professional pressures. Despite the tragic circumstances of his death, Janne's legacy remains one of hope and resilience. His bravery in coming out, his advocacy for inclusion in sports, and his impact on countless young athletes serve as a lasting reminder of the power of authenticity. Rolf Nordmo's trial, ongoing at the time of writing, has left many questions unanswered. While justice for Janne is still being sought, his life and contributions continue to inspire. The LGBTQ community, as well as fans of Janne's work on and off the ice, have rallied together to honor his memory. Janne's story is a poignant reminder of the complexities of human relationships and the enduring importance of creating safe spaces where vulnerability and honesty are met with compassion. Though his life was cut short, Janne's impact will not be forgotten. His journey, and his unwavering courage, will continue to light the way for others. Thank you for joining us today and for witnessing Janne's incredible journey. If you found inspiration in his story, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to LGBT Crime Files. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Janne's courage. What part of his story resonated with you the most? Leave a comment below, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, remember, being true to who you are is the greatest strength you can have.